So I've done a lot of different videos about the areas here in and around Bozeman, Montana, from Three Forks to Big Sky to Ennis to Livingston and everywhere in between. But what I haven't done is directly compare what you can get in each of those places for a certain price point and the reasons why and what to consider before moving to each one. So in this video, I'm going to go in depth comparing the different towns and communities from what you can get to the various differences and similarities and all the different things to consider. Hey there, my name is Hallie with Life in Bozeman, Montana. This channel is all about living in and around Bozeman and all of the surrounding communities here in Southwest Montana. Now, of course, it goes without saying that all of these different towns and communities are going to experience a Montana winter. Not everywhere is going to see the same type of winter, the same amount of snow, and some are going to see more wind than others. Summer all around Southwest Montana, of course, is absolutely beautiful as well. The area is relatively dry and lacking humidity. And of course, in late summer, we are going to experience a fire season in the area as a whole, particularly if we don't get enough summer rainstorms or there's a lot of lightning without enough moisture. And that can also impact each of these communities, particularly those closer to the mountains and those national forests. So let's dive into some information and statistics on each area first, and then we'll take a look at those properties that are for sale and compare them from one area to the next. The first on our list today is Bozeman. It's also the largest town that we'll be talking about today, with a population of just over 50,000. It's also home to the fastest growing state university here in Montana. Bozeman has it all, and people have really taken notice. Add to that the amazing ski areas that are very nearby of Bridger Bowl and of course Big Sky Resort to the south, the hiking, the biking, the climbing, the fishing, everything that this area offers. Bozeman has gotten significant attention in the media for being one of the best places to live. And of course, a little bit of attention has also come from people watching the show Yellowstone. Some here definitely don't love that growth and everything that has been changing over the past few years in particular. Housing prices have risen, and therefore the cost of living here in the Bozeman area has gone up. Bozeman also does experience winter sometimes pretty intensely, with big snowstorms, and sometimes we get down into those sub-zero temperatures. Bozeman and some of the other nearby towns that we'll be talking about today are almost completely surrounded by mountains, so that's going to be one major factor. So let's take a look at some of the numbers here around those property prices in Bozeman. This is going to be including Bozeman city limits as well as the greater Bozeman area, which is mostly off to the west side of Bozeman. For condos, there are currently 88 active listings with a median list price of $650,000. For single-family homes, there are currently 128 listings with a median list price of $1.3 million. So if we move up the road just a little bit, down the highway, about 10 miles off of the interstate, we get to the next town over of Belgrade. Belgrade, Montana has a population of about 13,000 and is often seen as a bedroom community to Bozeman, and of course has thus grown right alongside Bozeman. But the property prices still remain lower than Bozeman. They haven't increased quite at the same rate as Bozeman has. Belgrade definitely doesn't have much of a downtown, but it does have some really lovely neighborhoods and a really great small town community and vibe. The area where Belgrade is in the valley, Belgrade does sometimes see a little bit less snow than the Bozeman area does. But depending on where you are in Belgrade, you may see a variation in that. Some areas of Belgrade are actually closer to the mountains and might see a little bit more snow, and the temperatures are going to be pretty close to Bozeman as well. There are currently 6 active condo listings in the Belgrade area with a median list price of $379,000. And for single family homes, there are currently 38 listings with a median list price of $707,000. So you can see it's quite the difference just down the highway there in Belgrade. Heading down the interstate, maybe another 10 miles or so, we'll find ourselves in the small community of Manhattan. The population of Manhattan is about 2,000 residents, and it definitely has a very small town, rural feel. With the Gallatin River running right through town, Manhattan is known for phenomenal fishing. There's only one main intersection in town, so there's not a lot to the town itself, but the farming and agricultural community and people are friendly and inviting. So while there's not a lot to do indoors, Manhattan has plenty of outdoor recreational opportunities all around, much like Bozeman and Belgrade as well. Manhattan isn't too much further from any of it, and thus winters in Manhattan are also going to be fairly similar to those in Bozeman and Belgrade too. As far as properties goes, there are only 2 active condo listings in the Manhattan area currently, with a median list price of $495,000, and there are currently 10 active listings for single-family homes with a median list price of $1.4 million. The catch is with Manhattan is that all of those are going to be on at least 1 acre, if not more. Just another 10 minutes or about 10 miles down the interstate further west from Manhattan is Three Forks. So about 30 minutes from Bozeman in the rolling wheat hills, Three Forks has about 2,000 residents. And much like Manhattan, this is also a farming community centered around agriculture and surrounded by those wheat fields. Three Forks is also quite close to the Missouri Headwaters State Park, and it's actually what it's named after. This is where the Madison, Jefferson, and Gallatin rivers converge to form the Missouri River. So as you might imagine, Three Forks is also a great fishing town as well. It's a lovely little small town with lots of character and some wonderful dining as well. And winters do tend to be a bit more mild, as Three Forks is a little bit further away from the mountain fronts. Three Forks has a couple of neighboring communities to the south. There's Willow Creek to the north. There's some newer neighborhoods that have come up in the recent years. And of course, a little bit to the northeast are the communities of Ponderosa Pines and Clarkston. That's one place where you can find some pretty inexpensive land, but keep an eye on if they're off-grid or not, because many of them are, and you're going to want to be sure that's something you're ready to take on and that that's what you're truly interested in. The cost of living in Three Forks is definitely lower than that in Bozeman, especially those home prices and what you can get for your money. Though you won't find as many jobs, and some do commute from Three Forks all the way to Bozeman for work. There are no condos currently listed in the Three Forks area, but for single-family homes, there are 18 currently active listings with a median list price of $707,000. Now, if we head the opposite direction down the interstate to the east, about 30 minutes from Bozeman is the town of Livingston. There are just under 10,000 residents in Livingston, and about an hour south is where you're going to find one of the entrances to Yellowstone National Park. So like Bozeman in that sense, Livingston does get quite a bit of tourism in the summer months at least. Not as much as Bozeman does in the winter, with all of the skiing closer to Bozeman. The Yellowstone River runs right through town, and you'll be able to find more affordable real estate in the Livingston area than Bozeman again as well. Now, one thing to know about Livingston is that it is definitely known for the wind, and that can happen any time of year, but particularly in the winters, that wind can be brutal. The area is absolutely beautiful, with the Shields Valley to the north and the Paradise Valley down to the south. You can't go wrong. There's scenic views in every direction. There aren't as many jobs or shopping in the Livingston area, but again, some do make that commute every day over the hill to Bozeman. As far as those homes, there are 7 active condo listings in the Livingston area with a median list price of $329,000. For single-family homes, there are 30 active listings with a median list price of $669,000. Going again in the opposite direction, but a little further south from where you're going to find, Manhattan and the likes of those towns, down a little bit further south on the west side of Bozeman is the town of Ennis and the Madison Valley. It's about an hour from Bozeman on a 2-lane highway. The scenery in Ennis is absolutely stunning, much like Livingston. And as with all of the areas that we've been talking about so far today, there's tons of outdoor adventure. Ennis is fairly close to Big Sky Resort via a private road, so if you were working at the resort or had some reason that you were allowed to travel that, it's not a far distance to get there. And of course, the Madison River running right through the valley there brings plenty of people to the area in the warmer months, especially for fishing. It's one of the more remote towns, though, and can feel pretty removed from more people or more commerce, lacking some, diversity and quantity in jobs, and the smallest population on our list today of about 1,000 residents. That said, downtown Ennis is charming and small, with some great dining options, though they are limited. There are several lakes in the area as well, and Ennis is definitely known for getting some snow in the winter, with several mountain ranges very close by. There are no condos currently listed in the Ennis area, but for single-family homes, there are 30 currently active listings with a median list price of $899,000. And last but certainly not least, about an hour and a half north of Bozeman is the town of Helena. It's a beautiful town of about 30,000 residents and is the state capital here in Montana. So that means it's both rich in history and, of course, some government jobs. Helena also has a small private college, Carroll College, right there in town, and beautiful lakes within 20 minutes of downtown, as well as a small ski area called Great Divide, and plenty of biking and hiking and opportunities to get outdoors. There's not quite as much shopping or dining that you would find in Bozeman, but Helena has seen some growth in the last few years, which has also equated to growth in both of those categories. Winter in Helena is also generally a little bit more mild than Bozeman, but the valley can get kind of socked in with clouds and that sort of thing, so it's a little bit of a different experience there in the Helena Valley. And it'll definitely still get snow and still get cold. As far as home prices, there are currently 13 active condo listings in the Helena area with a median list price of $397,000. For single family homes, there are currently 93 active listings with a median list price of $669,000. So let's jump onto the computer and take a look at some of those properties that are currently listed for sale, and we'll see what you can get for about $900,000 in each area. Now, before we do, as I said, my name is Hallie. I am a born and raised Bozemanite, helping people to move, relocate, and simply find their place here in and around Bozeman, Montana. From Big Sky to Three Forks to Ennis to Livingston and everywhere in between. My email and phone number are right here, or you can visit the link in the description to learn a little bit more or perhaps get in touch that way. Either way, we can set up a one-on-one call so that I can learn a little bit more about how I can best help you. I'm here to help you find the right place for you. I certainly don't want you to move to the wrong spot. So jot that information down and feel free to get in touch. And if you haven't yet subscribed, I've got a new video every single week. So if you want the best videos all about living here in and around Bozeman and all those small towns all over Southwest Montana, subscribe. So let's take a look first in the Bozeman area at some of the different homes right around $900,000. We'll take a look at one on the north and northwest side of Bozeman, as well as one down on the south side. There's been a lot of new construction on the north side of Bozeman. That's where a lot of the newer developments have been, and this is one of those neighborhoods. This is a 3-bed, 2-bath home that was just built in 2023. It's 2,175 square feet and sits on 0.19 acres. So it's a fairly small lot, for what people might imagine, but it is in a really nice neighborhood with great trails and some pretty great views from the area as well. And as you can see, this one is currently listed at $950,000. Let's take a look at the bathroom here. You can see it's fairly modern, really, really nicely built home, it looks like, and brand new construction, if that's the sort of thing that you are looking for. You can see the yard here as well with the fence, and look at that wide open space behind it. So let's take a look at one over on the south side, probably a little bit older home. This one is in a highly coveted area on the south side of Bozeman. Lovely landscaping, it looks like here. It's a 4-bed, 3-bath home with 2,094 square feet on 0.31 acres and built in 2000. And as you can see, this one is listed for $929,000 and has some really lovely details with the window seat there and that lovely tiled shower. Taking a look at the neighborhood itself here, you can see there's some trails really close by and some beautiful scenery as well. So now we'll head over to Belgrade and take a look at a home in that same price range in Belgrade. Moving down the highway here to Belgrade, let's take a look at this home. Now this one listed at $875,000 is actually a 4-bed, 4-bath, 3,850 square foot home. So you're getting a lot more square footage for a little bit less, in fact, than those homes in Bozeman. This one is also sitting on 1 acre, as you can see, with this big, beautiful backyard, and was built in 2000. Taking a look a little bit more here, it's got a little bit more of a rustic Montana log cabin style feel. Absolutely beautiful home. And as I like to do, I'm going to try and get us a glimpse of the views from the home as well, since that is something that is so important to so many people. Looks like these exterior shots are just going to show us that wide open space, not much of the view there, but you can probably imagine it's got great views in almost any direction with all of that space around it as well. All right, now we're gonna move up the highway a little bit further into Manhattan, and there's really just one listing here for us to take a look at in this price range. There's some of the views that I was hoping to see from the last one, but here we are in Manhattan. This is a 4-bed, 3-bath, 2,891 square foot home on a third of an acre. This one is actually also a brand new build, just built in 2023. You can see it's more modern than some of the others we've been taking a look at that were built previously. Lovely tiled fireplace there. And there's the views right out that living room window towards the mountains. Big, wide, open floor plan home. Absolutely beautiful. And again, as you can see, listed at $930,000. So you're getting more for your money. You're getting a little bit of a bigger lot. You're definitely getting more square footage and a newer home comparatively. And there's some of those lovely views right off of the back patio and another view of the neighborhood. Moving up the interstate, same way we did a little bit ago here, just discussing things. And we will take a look at a home here that is just to the northwest of Three Forks. All right, now you're gonna really start to see the difference here. Listed at $929,000. The home itself is smaller at 1,936 square feet with 3 beds and 2 bathrooms. This one also sits on 6 acres and has 5 garage stalls. It also has a barn and fenced pasture and horse paddocks as well, as you can see here. So what you're really getting that's more with this one is all of that space and the additional buildings that you can see here. Beautiful views, houses are far more spread apart. And if this is the type of property you're looking for with a little bit more solitude or a little bit more space, breathing room, and you want to have horses, this is a great option for you that you can get for a similar price to Bozeman on a much smaller lot without the additional garage space and barn. Absolutely beautiful sunset view there. You can see those rolling hills and whatnot in the area here. These are some of my favorite photos so far. Now heading south, we're going to take a look here in the Ennis area. And again, there's really only one listing to take a look at in this price point. This is a 3-bed, 3-bath home with 2,252 square feet sitting on 20 acres. So you're going to get a lot more space. This one was built in 2018 and is just south of Ennis in the Cameron area, just a little ways south there in the Madison Valley. You can see here just a sneak peek of some of those views. It looks like off of the back deck there. Lots of wood flooring in this home as well. Take a look at one of the bathrooms here. Really beautiful home. What I'm most interested, as you'll see with me time and time again, is I want to see those views. There we go. This is a great example of what we're looking at here on 20 acres, lots of space, lots of wildlife in the area there. Beautiful spot. So for $949,000, you're going to get 20 acres, even more space than the last one we were looking at in Three Forks. From here, we'll go north past Three Forks and Townsend into the Helena area and take a look at something comparable up here. Just to the north of Lake Helena here is a lovely new construction home. This is a 5-bed, 3-bath, 3,996 square foot home here, listed at $879,000, built in 2023, and it sits on 2.5 acres. Again, look at these absolutely stunning views here on the north side of Helena, and of course you're very close to Lake Helena as well. Big wide open space there, lovely fireplace as well, open floor plan, as is the current trends, I guess I could say, here in Montana in some of these more modern or newly built homes. Absolutely beautiful, bright white colors in a lot of the spaces as well. A tiled shower. And you get a sneak peek of what those views are like right out of one of the bedroom windows there. I love that. And of course, the wonderful deck right there also. So let's take a look here in one more area in Livingston, Montana. So we'll go ahead, zoom out here and head back down and over the Bozeman Pass to Livingston. All right, the closest comparable property here is going to be right off of Highway 89. This one is a 4-bed, 3-bath home with 2,760 square feet right off of the river, actually. So it's just across the highway there, and this home actually sits on 6.14 acres and was built in 1995. You can see the beautiful Yellowstone River running through the area there. You can see the, white-capped mountains there and the beautiful views all around, and you've got quite a bit of space. Again, don't have close neighbors or anything like that, and this one is listed at $899,000. Kind of a log home style there as well. Maybe in need of some updates here and there, but a beautiful home if you're looking to be just outside of Livingston, just south there in that Paradise Valley, right off of the river. Great fishing right across the road there. Some of the appeal of this one is definitely in this outdoor space and again, those views. So that's what you can get in all of those different communities for right around $900,000. As I said in the beginning of this video, I've done videos all about each of the different areas we're talking about today and more. Specific videos about the pros and cons and vlog tours and all kinds of information about each of those communities. So if you want to learn more, be sure to check those out. But until now, I hadn't done any of those direct comparisons. I've got a playlist dedicated to each of those areas: Livingston, Bozeman, Belgrade, Manhattan, Three Forks, Ennis, and Helena. But if you want to watch more right now, this is a playlist loaded with the best vlog tours all over Southwest Montana. And until next time, I hope to show you around town.